Hey, this is Dave Filoni of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and you are listening to Rebel Force Radio with Jason and Jimmy.
All right, I need to take you back several months ago to Celebration 5, the Clone Wars press conference, and you had this to say to me about what I now know is the Mortis Trilogy.
What I know of you, my friend, your podcast will analyze the episodes that revolve around that statement in that article more than almost anything we have done.
That'll be a special.
If you want, it will be a special, and you will be calling me in. I might have to fly out to Ohio or wherever you are to be in studio to kind of deal with your emotions about this, because.
But so by all rights, we ought to be doing this show live with you here at the Palatial Forcecast Studios in beautiful
That's fine.
Northeast Ohio.
The Penguins home game, if I do that, that's not a problem.
All right, well, let's talk about the Mortis Trilogy, because you were going to come and you're going to talk me down. And I know you occasionally listen to the roundtables, and I'm hoping that you had a chance to listen to at least one of the roundtables for this particular arc, because it got heated, man. We were really getting into this, and one of the big issues that came up, and in fact, it was Kyle Newman who kind of put this bug in my ear as a wouldn't it be cool, and then the more I watched it, I go, no, I think this is what they had in mind the whole time, and that is about son and daughter being not so much corporeal, but actually projections or manifestations of the Father's own duality, the light and the dark.
Yeah, I heard that theory of yours. Well, look, now this will be difficult for you, I know. I was talking to Christian Taylor about this, because we were really enjoying all the speculation you guys had on these episodes, because as, I predicted, you guys were exceptional. I mean, the theories, they were exceptional. And even when there was stuff that Christian and I had no thought of whatsoever, we were like, wow, that's really cool. I can see exactly where they're getting that. And that's really cool. And I even went to George and said, hey, George, guess what they're saying about Mortis now? And, he would chuckle or something. But,
he's like, those suckers.
And no. I told Christian, that if I come out and define a bunch of stuff, or if he does, it's really going to rob you of your speculations.
Oh.
So I'm going to be very careful about how implicitly I answer anything.
Please, Dave, do not tell us there is no Santa Claus here.
Well, I think it's safe to say there is very much a Santa Claus in the world of Mortis. But, I definitely would say, I don't think I'm going outside the box and the kind of rule that Christian and I laid down about answering questions about it, to say that the son and daughter were beings. They weren't just a projection. Though I very much like that idea, and I can see where you get it. But there is a certain level of reality going on there, on Mortis, and a certain level of, imagination or feeling or emotions that are projecting for sure. And another reason I want to be cautious about it is that we're not necessarily completely done with the line of thinking that we started in those episodes. So,
excellent.
I don't want to say,
because that's something definitely that we would enjoy talking about. And the big one, though, the big question is, and this is what we've been talking to with everyone, was visitation Obi-Wan received from Qui-Gon Jinn. Was that the actual ghost of Qui-Gon? Was it a hallucination, a dream? Was it a trick?
Well, it was the actual voice of Qui-Gon. I can say that. I mean, it was Liam Neeson. That was exciting. Again, boy, do I want to tell you what it was. I don't really want to tell you what that was, or who it was, or if it was really him. I think it's interesting that, as soon as that appears, everybody goes out and cites Revenge of the Sith and Obi-Wan's reaction as if I've never seen that movie, nor has George Lucas, who wrote it. It's just fascinating how people perceive it as a screw-up. But I'm like, I work with the guy that came up with this entire idea. It's not a screw up that there's this Qui-Gon Jinn talking here. It's not a but you know, I can see why people would think that, but it's a little bit more outside the box thinking when you're dealing with Mortis, which was why the first time George talked about it, it was pretty. I mean, you can imagine watching it, but just hearing him talk about this stuff. There could be these beings, and one's going to turn into like a gargoyle thing, one's going to turn into like a griffin thing, and I'm just like, wow, that's really different, you know, for what I've seen. But at the same time, you know, when I was talking to Christian about how were we going to do this, I was like, it all reminds me of, you know, Luke on Dagobah, Luke in the cave. You know, Luke when he's confronted with this apparition of Darth Vader even, that is obviously in some ways a projection of Luke, you know, himself. So it does fit into the context of the Star Wars stories in that respect. It's just we spent a lot of time on it to develop, you know, and to tell a rather unique story about Anakin Skywalker. And definitely having, you know, Sam Witwer there playing the son was incredible, ramping up the whole thing to an insane level. And he definitely, working with Matt Lanter, Matt, I thought, achieved a great level as Anakin in those stories. His performance was just fantastic. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, a lot is made of the effects we do, and a lot is made of the writing and directing. But I mean, the actors, you know, to vocalize the things Matt was doing in there, the pain that he seemed to feel, you know, when he realized what he was going to become or what his potential might be, was really gripping. I thought he's come, you know, a long way in the world of voice acting and just acting period to portray that. Pretty impressive stuff.
Hey, this is Dave Filoni, supervising director of Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to one of my favorite podcasts. In fact, the only podcast I listen to.